All right, so this morning I'm driving to the gym, right? And as I'm driving to the gym, I'm noticing all these potholes in the road, and I've been noticing this for a couple weeks now. I happen to live near the Chicago area, so for us we get a lot of snow, and during this time of the year when it's winter time, we get a lot of potholes because of course they're plowing the snow all the time, which by the way I'm thankful for. I'd rather have potholes than to be stuck in 10 feet of snow, right? But I'm driving down the road and I'm noticing all these potholes, and of course just a few days ago, they were patching all these potholes up, right? And I'm thinking, why are all these potholes still here? And of course, I'm thinking, well, because we're still driving on these roads, and of course, whatever they fill them with is going to come out of there, and they have to keep patching them up. And then I realized, well, the only real solution to these potholes is for them to actually repave the roads, which they do occasionally, but of course that takes a long time. It probably costs a lot more money than just patching up the potholes, right? And as I'm driving to the gym and I'm noticing these potholes and thinking about this, I realized this is a really good analogy for what we do with our health, and in particular in chiropractic. And let me explain that to you because it probably doesn't make sense when I just talk about these potholes, right? So here's the way that this works. A lot of times people have health problems, and what they want to do is they want to just patch it up temporarily. And this isn't your fault, by the way. We have been raised to believe that this is how we should deal with our health. And if you think about it, in the United States at least, medicine is the primary method of health care for the vast majority of people, okay? And of course, within medicine, what they tell us is that if you have a health problem, I have a magic pill for you. So it leads people to believe that, number one, they don't have to take responsibility for their health, because if they get sick or if they develop some kind of a pain or some type of a symptom, that the doctor is going to have a magic pill for them that's going to take that pain away or give them the solution to that problem, right? You can eat whatever you want to. You don't have to exercise. You don't have to do anything, because guess what? We have a magic pill for you, or we have a shot that's going to help you, or we have a surgery that's going to fix the problem that you developed there. So why would you ever do anything different, right? So like I said, this isn't your fault. This is what we have been led to believe. But when we're dealing with the spine in chiropractic, what actually happens to a lot of people is that it deteriorates long before you actually develop the symptom. And by the way, this isn't that unusual within the body. There's a lot of different health conditions that take a very long time to develop, way before you actually feel a symptom. A good example would be a heart attack. Heart attacks don't just happen, all right? The day that you have the heart attack, that wasn't when it started. It's taken years and years and years for you to have, whatever the case may be, an unhealthy diet, bad genes, not exercising enough, not drinking enough water, for the heart to have so much of a problem that eventually it can't take it anymore, and now the heart attack develops. The same thing happens with cancer. Cancer doesn't just start today. Cancer usually takes years and years to develop until it eventually gets out of control, that now you feel a symptom. Well, your spine is the exact same way, and here's how it works a lot of times. I always draw this drawing out for patients because I think it really makes sense when we're talking about what we need to do in order to help people with their spinal conditions. But essentially, when we're born, we're all born with what I call optimal health. And what that means is that everything is working at 100%, it's functioning perfectly, and so there's no health problems, there's no symptoms, the body is healing quickly, you have a ton of energy, and everything is doing exactly what it's supposed to do at a very high speed or a very fast rate. All right, that's the way that we're born. But what we look for in chiropractic is something called a subluxation. And what that is where the vertebrae in your spine, so if I take a look at my model here, and I've gone through this in many videos before, so if this isn't new to you, just bear with me for a second, all right? We'll get through this. But basically, this is two of the bones in your back or in your spine. We call these vertebrae. Between the two bones, there's a cushion, which we call a disc. And if you look at this area here, the two bones come together and they form these openings where the nerves are coming out of. And the nerves are the most important thing in your body because they control everything. They essentially provide the power or the electricity that runs your body and makes sure that everything works at its highest level. Well, what a subluxation is when these vertebrae misalign. And if they misalign, what they're going to do is they're going to close down on that opening where the nerve is coming out of, It puts pressure on that nerve or pinches that nerve, and essentially what it's doing is it's cutting off the flow of energy through that nerve, so whatever the nerve is going to can't function at its best because it's not getting enough power from the nervous system. And this is what chiropractors are looking for, and this is what we correct with a chiropractic adjustment. But this doesn't just happen to people. It takes a long time before that bone puts enough pressure on the nerve that you finally feel some type of back pain or other symptoms. I mean, anything can happen because of the pressure on the nervous system. So what happens to us is that as we go through our lives, we start to beat ourselves up. So maybe we have slips and falls. Maybe, we play sports and we have sports injuries. When we get old enough, we start to have jobs. Maybe you're sitting all day, which isn't healthy for your spine because you've got this constant gravity pulling down on your spine and compressing those joints. Maybe you have a very physical job and you're really hard on your back. Maybe you're doing a lot of heavy lifting and that sort of thing. So as we go through our lives, we start to beat ourselves up. We use our spines and we use our spines, and then eventually those bones will start to shift out of their normal alignment, but you don't feel it at the beginning because we all have a pain threshold. And until you have enough pressure on that nerve that it hits your pain threshold, you're not going to notice that anything is wrong with you. You're not going to feel it developing. But I guarantee you, once you finally do something, whether you have a car accident or whatever the case may be, once you finally do something that hits that pain threshold, now you're going to know that something is wrong. Now here's what a lot of people want to do. At this point, they want to go to the doctor and they want to take a pain medication, right? Or they want a steroid injection or an epidural or something that numbs the nerve so that they don't feel it. Well, guess what that does? Sure, it brings you up over your pain threshold, but did it correct the problem? Did it actually correct that misalignment, take the pressure off of the nerve so that it lasts for you longer? No. And we know that these types of treatments do not last for people because you haven't actually corrected the cause of the issue. Well, guess what this is? This is just like patching up the pothole, okay? You can patch it up, but you're going to go back into your life. You're going to keep driving on that road, and eventually that stuff's going to come out of there and you're going to have another pothole again. And this is what people do with health problems a lot of times, is they want to patch it up thinking that they're okay, but the fact of the matter is that you've got to repave the road in order to actually correct the problem, okay? So in chiropractic, a lot of times, sometimes people want to do the same thing. They want to come in and they want to get one or two adjustments until they feel better, and then they want to stop because they don't understand what's really happening here. And we can do that. We can give you a couple of adjustments here, just enough to get you over your pain threshold again so that you're feeling better. But you have to understand that if you utilize chiropractic in that way, all you're doing is patching up the pothole. What most chiropractors do is we recommend a treatment plan for you, and the reason we do that is because it requires a series of visits if we want to actually get your spine nice and stable and strong again, so that we're not just temporarily fixing the problem or patching the pothole up, we're actually repaving the road, trying to get your spine as close to normal and as healthy as possible so that you don't have to keep dealing with this problem over and over again. But here's the question. Let's say that we repave the road and everything looks beautiful. And you know what that feels like, right? When you get on a road that's freshly paved, oh, it's so nice to drive on, right? Everything is smooth. The car is gliding through. There's no noise from driving on top of it. It's a wonderful experience. But does that guarantee, or at that point, do we know for sure that that road is going to never, ever, ever have a pothole again? Absolutely not. And why? Because you keep driving on it, right? That's the whole thing. So if you keep using that road, eventually that nicely paved road is going to develop potholes again. And this is why most chiropractors will recommend at this point some sort of maintenance or wellness care, or just a periodic adjustment here and there in order to keep your spine nice and healthy. Because here's the thing. When we get your spine nice and strong by giving you a treatment plan and going through the care that you need, you're going to go right back into your life and you're still going to have the same stresses on your spine. I can't change the type of work that you do. I can't change, or wouldn't want to change, the sports that you play. I want you to enjoy your life and to do whatever it is that you like to do. I want you to be able to go to the gym and work out if you want to. I want you to be able to do all the things that you enjoy, but realize that these things are going to continue to add daily stress to your spine, and if you just let it sit at that point, it's going to continue to deteriorate, and eventually you're going to be right back down there again. And that's what we try to avoid with that maintenance care. And by the way, if you think this is unusual in chiropractic, you have to realize that anything in life that is trying to make a physical change to the human body works exactly the same way. I personally like to work out. That's one of my things. I think it's good for stress relief. I have more energy. And really, what I feel personally is that my primary purpose on this earth is to help as many people as I possibly can through chiropractic care. But being a chiropractor requires energy. I'm on my feet all day. I'm bending over. I'm working with patients. So I have to make sure my energy stays as high as it can be, but I also have to make sure I maintain a certain level of strength and stamina in order to do my job as effectively as I want to. So for me, that's what exercise does for me. But when you go to the gym and you look at these people who look like fitness models, right? These men and women, they're in perfect shape. You can see every single one of their abs. All their muscles are just popping out everywhere. You know, they look fantastic, right? But let me ask you this. Does that just happen? I mean, really, did they just wake up one day and that's how they look and they don't have to do anything to make that happen? No way. If you actually have a conversation with them, here's what you're going to see. They're at that gym every day, some of them 2 times a day. They're in there for hours at a time. Their diets are exactly spot on. They never stray from it. You're not going to see those people eating a piece of cake, all right? It's not going to happen. They're very, very strict about it. But they feel like that sacrifice or that effort is worth it because at the end, they feel better about themselves and they like the way that they look, all right? And of course, you can't blame somebody for doing that. Here's what I'm convinced of. I'm convinced that if your spine were on the outside of your body where everybody could see it, you would probably take better care of it. I mean, I think about these things and I think about, for example, I have this group of friends who, they're having a Botox party. Now, I'm sorry, but to me, things like that are just absolutely crazy. I say more power to you if you like that sort of thing. But to me, if a person is willing to inject a bacteria to paralyze their face so that they don't get wrinkles, personally, I'm just going to grow old gracefully. I don't care that much about it, you know. But for somebody else, that might be important. And you know why? Because you can see their face. They're concerned about the way that they look. This is strictly vanity. I take good care of my teeth. Sometimes I whiten my teeth. Why do I do that? Well, because when I smile, I want you to see nice teeth, right? I want it to be a good smile. The same thing with people that go to the gym. Do you really think they strictly work out for health? No, they want to look good, right? Everybody wants to feel good about themselves. Everybody wants to feel like they look their absolute best. And so people do a lot of things because they want to look good. But you have to realize it's the things that you don't see, like your spine, your organs, all these things that we don't even think about. Those are the things that you've got to keep working the way that they're supposed to, because those are the things that are going to determine if you're ultimately healthy or not. They help you live longer. They help you have more energy. You sleep better. Your body functions better. All because you take care of those things as well. All right? And so we utilize chiropractic in order to make sure that we maintain your spine, which helps to keep all the pressure off your nervous system so that your nerves can function at 100%, and therefore they keep the body functioning at its highest possible level to keep you healthier, keep you having more energy, and keep you doing all the things that you love and that you want to keep doing with your life, okay? All right, so that's my pothole analogy. I hope you found that entertaining. I have the weirdest thoughts when I'm driving to the gym or when I wake up in the morning, but I like to share them with you guys because I think that they help make better sense as far as what you should be doing in order to take better care of yourself. And by the way, chiropractic is not the only thing, of course, that you need to do in order to be the healthiest person. If you're interested in learning more about the 5 different things that you have to do in order to maintain an optimal level of health, I have a series of videos on my website. You can just go to drdaulton.com. And then at the top, you'll see a link that says videos. And if you click on the link under there that says health videos, you'll see my series of videos that gives you information about the 5 things that you need to be doing in order to maintain your best health possible. All right? Thank you so much for spending this time with me. We'll talk to you on another video.